It's really promising, John.
Oh,
Well done.
how did you do that? This is
Bluebird's canopy is torn off.
steak and chips.
Hi, back again.
Hey! Hi folks, the weekend's here again. Well, end of the week's here again because I've reappeared. Back on with this week, and we've had a nice meeting with a couple of our other Bluebird brothers who arrived from out of town. Baz and Dave, don't see them too often. Baz is from Grimsby, Barry from Grimsby, and Dave's from somewhere that way. So that was nice, and we've cracked on with a few more repairs. This has now got the inner and outer skins all scrubbed up, and we've pinned it in place, trimmed it so that works. It's now a question of get some core into there, get this repair piece ready to go. Some doublers made for the outside. We're going to lap that over with some 1mm, I think, and put some countersink rivets on, but that will be very, very strong when it's done. We know that. What else is there? Yeah, you know, I said there was a bit to tell about Bluebird. Well, basically it's been away for a month to have an engine fitted and tested. That's what they said, going to put an engine in and test it in the hull and all this. And we took one look at that problem and said there's no way on this earth you're going to get an engine in that in a month. And we were right. Not to blame the guys who tried it, because they're good fitters, they're just aircraft fitters, not Bluebird fitters. So it's been away for a month. Engine is kind of dropped in the hole with its bits off and not connected to anything. And they've now said it's going to be dead for another year. So it was dead last year, it's going to be dead this year, and they're going to send it away for 5 months at the end of the year to have another crack at getting the engine in, which is a more realistic time frame, although I still don't think it's enough. And basically, had it come here for a month, it would have been done. Engine in, fitted, tested, running, connected, safe, leak-free, the lot. We could have done that in a month, and it could be on the water later this year. But no, it's dead again. Anyway, we're going to get this off, and we're going to make some bits up and see about getting some glue in there, and that will be a repair patch made out of itself, and I really like that idea. Well, we'll get a coat of naughty paint stripper on here. That's how it was described to me, a bit naughty. Should have called it naughty strip, shouldn't I? I wouldn't like to Google that. This, by the way, is speed tape. We get it from the aircraft people. Al sometimes brings it in. And it's basically a strip of aluminium with a really powerful adhesive on the back. And it's used if there's gaps in your aeroplane, you can stick it over the top and it can still fly with speed tape on. That is really heavy. That's just like a solid lump of aluminium. It's not like sticky tape. But it's really, really good if you need to blank any holes off or use it as a mask, because it really sticks and you can mould it to shape because it's aluminium and it stays that shape. Just another top tip brought to you by the Bluebird Project Trial and Error Department. What are the things called on the surface of your brain? Are they gyri or something like that? It's got a name, you know, the lumpy bumpy bit on your brain. I'm sure it's gyri, something like gyri. Now I'm going to have to look up medical terms on Google. It certainly works, doesn't it?
Does it burn like measurables used to burn on your skin?
Yes.
When you used to be taking the paint off your Mark II Escort, and you'd have no gloves on, and it'd be dripping onto your hands, and you'd go, ouch!
Yes, it just did that to me before. You need to leg it to the tap and you wash it off, or you spit on it and rub it on your shorts.
When nowadays, I helped my son Alex do some on his car with the new Nike Moors, and I said, you're not going to wear gloves, Alex! And he was like, no you don't. And pouring it on his hand.
When we did this, gloves weren't invented. Well, that paint strip has good stuff. Well, that was just a little bit of prep around where we're going to be putting lots of glue and rivets when we reconstitute this cell on the way to getting the floors done. And then we had a visit from two of our long-serving Bluebird Project members, Barry from Grimsby and Dave. Barry is a very capable engineer. He worked at the Phillips 66 oil refinery in Grimsby forever on rotating machinery, and he fitted Bluebird's steering. That was his specialty, and he put a shaft into the hull 18 feet long to a tolerance of 2/1000 of an inch. pretty good going. Dave is an excellent mechanic. He's very high up in the AA, which is how come we borrowed one of their vehicles to do the push and pull on Butte. There's Baz.
Right.
You sorted, Baz?
Yeah. Hey up.
Hey up!
Now then.
Our old friend Baz. Dave's over there. Come on.
Back again.
Come and say hello. Yes.
Alright,
Bluebird Project right again. Yeah. So they came up for a visit, as they do periodically, and we all went for a spot of lunch. Nice bit of lunch on the fish quay. Baz and Dave. Where's Dave? There he is. Too much sunlight to get your picture. Are you feeling your age, Baz, there?
Yeah, I am.
Cricky joint. So what's your ailment? You got a gammy arm.
That's it, got me
A
out.
gammy arm, alright. Dave's got what's Dave got?
A pinched nerve and sciatica in my left leg.
Right. What have you got then?
I have got a crocked ankle bone and I'm many too fat and I need sunglasses.
We all need glasses.
I know, we're all young men when we started this. Look at this state of it.
Glasses.
I know, it's getting less like the workshop and more like a men's shed now, isn't it?
I know. Sat in the sunshine.
Oh, steak and chips.
What have you got there, Bill?
What did you do? What did you
Take
press?
two.
Take two. I've got a big chunk of cow and a pile of sea creatures.
Very good.
Not one for the vegans.
Prawns got murdered. Well, that was nice, getting out with a couple of the Bluebird brothers. And when I say brothers, I mean it. You know, one of my dad's favourite expressions was blood is thicker than water, which in his mind meant you had to stick up for family members even when they were being stupid. When the actual quote is the blood of the battlefield is thicker than the water of the womb. So your comradeships formed in adversity are stronger than any family bonds, and that's how it is with us, we're all family. So with the prep work done and lunch eaten, it was time to get back to getting this repair patch built and ready to go. That's the repair patch, dressed back and a nice fine coat of etch prime. That is the cleaned up inner skin, and that goes on there. We'll pop a couple of holes in for pins, a small hole, not a big hole. Pin that down, that'll position it the same every time. That goes on there. Flip it over and the other skin goes on the other side. Keith's back.
Hi, back again.
Back again.
Some presents for Bill.
Bearing gifts today.
Yeah.
Thanks, Keith.
Okay, no problem.
You're a black pudding. Oh, what was I doing?
You're showing me that you are wiping this on with cotton wool as opposed to myself clagging it on with a brush.
With a brush. Well, I think we maybe been having it a bit too thick.
Alright.
So
Well, I've been painting it on to make sure it was covered, thinking I had to cover everything.
yeah, it's just going to be just a wash coat, really.
Alright.
So
So you're putting it on with cotton
I put it on the cotton wool.
very lightly with covering it.
Yeah.
But that means it's going to go a lot further.
It'll go on forever. There's about a 10-year supply in there now.
I like the sound of that.
And seeing as you like to splash the cash, not. That represents quite a saving in John land. Okay. Yeah. Should we do some more?
Yes.
Yes. There's our repair patch. Pinned, all skins, etch primed, all fits together. Piece of core, and John has brought a piece of plywood to make some tooling so we can clamp this together and get the glue on it.
One prepared earlier.
One I prepared earlier. One you haven't prepared at all yet?
Yes.
What be the plan then, John?
So the plan is we need to,
Plan is,
with all the parts that come together, this is part A1, A2, A3, we've got the instructions somewhere. We're going to glue it all together. But to glue it all together, part of the process is holding it in place with the pins.
right,
But if we've got the pins there, I'll demonstrate,
we can't clamp it.
we can't clamp it. So we're going to get a piece of wood, place it over the top, drill some holes where the pins are, and then we'll get good
Sandwiching.
sandwiching.
Good sandwiching.
Sandwiching.
Well, while you make the wood, I'll cut the core.
Well, I'm not going to make the wood.
Well, while you make the wood the correct shape, I'll make the core the correct shape.
Good idea.
John's got wood.
Hole there, hole there, hole there.
Hole, hole, Some more holes.
Couldn't be holes.
Going to be holes. Look at that. Just need some bees to move in here, John. Come on, John. You've drilled 5 holes.
I haven't even done a domino 5 though.
You've drilled 5 holes and they all have to fit or the job's ruined. Come on, well now we'll see if you're any good. Drum roll.
Let's do it.
How did you do that? John's a tool. No, Albie's a tool. First things first. This is a nice thick clear plastic tip that's used to seal gaps in floorboards. Because if we were to just lay up epoxy resin between bits of plywood, we just get a nice thick bit of plywood with an aluminium core. Right, that's that on there. We'll get good sandwiching. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to apply a bit of speed tape down the sides, because we don't need resin beyond the boundary of the outer panel. And there we go, that's that. Suitably masked. Excellent. Turn it over, do the other side. Okay, plan is glue that, take the honeycomb out, glue that, stick that down, turn it over, glue the rest of that, I'll pin this on, glue the rest of that, put the glue round where the honeycomb meets the other core, honeycomb in, turn it over, glue that, stick it on. And we'll get some glue on. Right, now we'll put this on. Turn this over. And because that's got 5 pins, it'll balance. Just turn that round a bit. As the late and much loved Ken Warby once said to me as I try to do something overhand like that, turn it round the other way. Ken Warby, for anyone who's wondering, is still the current holder of the world water speed record. And he was a big supporter of ours. And he turned up in the workshop on more than one occasion, all the way from America where he lived, but he was Aussie through and through. Lovely guy, Ken. Much missed. And then we'll get some glue around the edges of here. Okay, we're ready for the honeycomb. Put it in there like this. It's all the way to the bottom. It's a little bit long, so it springs in and it pushes outwards. Make sure it's properly bedded into the glue. Moment of truth. Go. And the final thing is the belt and braces. This is just a release wax. John's clever piece of tooling. But you choose this moment not to fit. That'll be funny. No, it fits, it fits. Nice one, John, well done, mate. This is now ever so slightly clamped. It's all built, glued, assembled, pinned, tooling on, clamped, clamped and clamped again. So that's going to sit now. We'll give it a good 24 hours and we'll see what comes out whenever. Albie's little masterpiece is just about ready for welding as well. It's been something of a journey, but it's all there. It's all a lovely shape. It all seems to work. So I'm going to stick that in the vise, fire up the TIG set, and we'll get that glue together in time for Albie coming in. Although he's not in this week, he's found something else to do. Taking time off, Albie. I'll go in the bad book. And we'll get it welded and yeah, that'll be good. Ta-da! All welded. And we could dress that off and make it look really pretty, but Albie can have that job. It needs a little bit of fine tuning, but there it is. Another part made. And another fun Bluebird fact, well, it's not really fun. It hasn't got a canopy yet. A year on, there's no canopy. Now, ours famously blew off on Loch Fad, and we used a scrap one to finish the crew training. And when the boat went, we were so far through building canopies, and you know, our generous people were saying, we'll carry on and build a canopy, and we're told, no, don't want you to do that. Okay. And then later word came down, could they use our CAD model? Well, go on then, you can use our CAD model. Still no canopy. Why? They said there's one being made, but when? This year? Next year? 5 months' time? Nobody knows. Well, that's it for another week. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm glad you're watching. Thanks for that. And don't forget to subscribe. I always say that. It's part of the duty of a YouTuberist. And we'll see you again next week with some more adventures from the workshop. So, remains only to say, have a cracking weekend. See you next week. Let's just keep filming Tom and see if anything happens.
I've seen the last one.
It's like wildlife photography, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spent hours waiting for something to happen. Still watching you, Tom. Hey!